Well, I think because it has taken years. It's taken us as a profession to, and we're still catching up to learning about trauma, learning about trauma's impact on the body, on the nervous system, on the mind, on the heart. Why it took so long in the past is, I think, the same thing. We were chasing narratives instead of going directly at the most charged aspect of a single incident trauma. And when we go at that most charged aspect, what I mean by that, the most charged moment in time, which is very, most trauma therapists kind of veer away from that or ease up to it. But the way that we're working with it is so specific and so momentary. You're only in that moment for a few moments before you're back out of it. And that oscillating between them in a very strategic way dissipates the charge very, very quickly. So the traumatic incident is clearly something that happened. It's not something I forgot. I know it happened, but it's like the threads associated with it in my mind, my body, my automatic nervous system, all are tied off. It's part of the tapestry of my life, but it's no longer being woven into the future of my life. So one of the things that we do often before we begin the trauma work, but sometimes we don't, it just depends. But one thing we do is to explore the possibility of being free of the trauma and investigate what could be good and what could be bad about that. And in investigating the possibilities of what could be good and what could be bad about resolving the trauma or being free of it, most people are no longer bound to a resistance to holding on to the trauma. So the first thing is to recognize that, many of us, we not only is the energy not metabolized, but we kind of hold on to it for a variety of reasons to protect us in other situations, a variety of reasons. But once we resolve the resistance to resolution, then it moves very quickly. So that would be one session, right? The next session that would be actually using a trauma release method that we use in acceptance and integration training. And that method involves just finding a single moment associated with the trauma rather than spending 3 hours leading up to, or 1 hour, just talking about what happened and no, it's not your fault. And the talking about it, we identify the worst moment of the trauma. And then the person oscillates between that moment and the here and now moment, which is generally very safe. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it. It's a safe moment. Everything's fine. They're happy and calm. And we further tax the brain by having the individual engage in an estimation of distances in the room that they are currently present in. So that taxes the brain. And what typically happens is when a very short time, less than 10 minutes, most of the time, is that all of the charged thoughts, images, emotions, and sensations associated with trauma are no longer exist. You just can't actually find them anymore. You know what happened, and you know that, but you can't feel any upset about it. It's just something that happened. And then the third session, so that would, we'd verify that, make sure that that's resolved. We would verify it, like how likely is it that something, you might get triggered in the same way related to this trauma as you have in the past. And most often people say it's very unlikely. But the third session would be then a follow-up. Like, how did you get triggered? What did you notice? What was the impact of that work you did? And the most common response we get, even with trauma, is, oh, I haven't thought about that all week. I kind of forgot we worked on that. That's the most common thing people say about very difficult life experiences.